Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be reviewing the final options in the Soul Exchange, and I'll be reviewing and picking my own choice in the Soul Exchange. So enjoy the video. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the 10 souls category. Our first hero is Dragon. Now Dragon is a pretty good damage dealer at very fast speed. He can be a devastating tank at some occasions if you're on about level 30 to 50, I think 40s, the level where Dragon is the most impactful or devastating, if you want to say it like that, because Dragon is running at very fast speed. He is inflicting dot damage and absorbing all at health, and then that mana elemental link, especially at fast speed. Dragon is an amazing hero if you are at a lower level, but unfortunately he does have some counters, so I would not recommend Dragon, especially in this list of amazing heroes that we have. Next we have Odin. Now of course, the only benefit in Odin I can see is the mana generation, because that's just not enough damage. But I can see some people, the desperate people, taking Odin just for mana generation, especially at fast speed. Odin does make an amazing hero running at fast speed, and I think Odin is a steal at 10 souls, but I just don't see a good use to Odin, so I wouldn't recommend Odin, especially in this list like Dragon. Next we have Yangmai, who I actually have in my roster, and I was about to de-emblem her, take away the emblems and use her in the Soul Exchange, because I was extremely disappointed with Yangmai, especially because of the damage and the 60% chance and the stack. So I think Yangmai is an extremely bad hero. I take someone like Elkanan, Magni, Obakan, Viveka over Yangmai any day of the week, and this is my suggestion. Do not waste your classic heroes or old hero of the months on Yangmai, because I think they are way better than her. Just think of her as a hero who does 310 damage at fast speed, and that's it. So I don't really see much of an impact, impactive. I can't even say the word properly, but I don't see a great use in Yangmai as well. Next, we may have the best hero in the 10 souls category so far, Costume Snow White. Now, Costume Snow White really shines in Rush Wars, especially with that cleanse and dispel all buffs and status ailments from both sides, and then she deals a devastating amount of damage. But I don't really see a use for Snow White, especially now that you're at the high level. I think Snow White can be used in about 30 to 50 player level players. But if you're 50 plus, I think Snow White wouldn't be as impactful in your game as some of these other heroes that will be having a look in this Soul Exchange list. So next we have Costume Francine. Now, Costume Francine, I can see some people, a small amount of people, picking Francine just because of the fast speed and that cleanse. And some people think that the damage is okay, but that damage is practically nothing these days. For example, if you have Francine and you hit it at someone like Dark Feather, that would be like 150 damage. So that is an extremely low amount of damage, but Francine can be relied on as a cleanser for some of you at a lower level, but I suggest you have cleansers as healers, so that is a 2-in-1. But I can see a use for Francine, just not of the damage. So to rank the 10 souls list, I'm sorry, I'm sick. Last place would go to Yang Mai. We have a tie for third place, Odin and Dragon. For second place, Francine, and a solid first place, costume Snow White. So 10 souls, I don't really see a practical use for these heroes, except for Snow White if you're extremely struggling in Rush Wars. But that is the conclusion for the 10 souls hero. Next, we will be moving on to the 15 souls hero and then the 20 soul hero. I'm sorry, heroes, because an S hero. I can't pronounce anything. My English is bad. I'm from Southeast Asia. But we'll be taking a look at the 15 souls hero, and this is the moment where we go into depth of these heroes, because I'll be more precise and not like the 10 souls hero, so you can get a clear view or clear perspective of what you're actually having an option with. So our first hero of the 15 souls row is Dr. Maru. Now, one thing I say about Dr. Maru is great class, fast speed, decent damage, and then that accuracy. But I don't really see Dr. Maru being a use anymore, because we have someone like Tinsel who can go up to minus 50% accuracy, and this is just insane, because the damage is a bit low, just like Francine's. So I do not recommend Dr. Maru. So if you're gonna go for Dr. Maru, I reckon you go for Dragon instead, because I don't really see a useful thing that can happen if you pick this hero. So next we have one of the Monster Island family heroes, and this is the first time we have ever seen a Monster Island hero, and I hope we can see it in the future, because there is a lot of amazing Monster Island heroes like Tremor, Otis, Sorrow, and so many other heroes. But here we have Dabria. Now Dabria is classified as a reviver at average speed. That is extremely rare to have a reviver faster than slow speed, but all allies get a 40% chance. That is a solid chance, but just not big enough, and get revived with 20% HP, and all allies regenerate 894 HP over 4 turns, low increase, and then plus 24% 4 turns, increases by 10 every turn. But one thing I don't like about Dabria is the regen and the defense increase. It's like the bulwark effect of the ether talent, but the downside is you need to spend more time or wait more turns for the effect to be most impactful, like the best, like the prime, if you guys know that word. So that makes the couple of turns extremely vulnerable, especially if you're planning to use Dabria as a healer. I do not recommend Dabria. So next we have someone who I never thought in a million years will be featured in a Soul Exchange, and the family wouldn't be featured in the Soul Exchange, and I was shocked to see that this hero, Xiao Tu, is featured at the 15 souls. I would gladly take her at 20 souls, but Xiao Tu is just a beast. Of course, the passive disable minion abilities, so the minion just acts as a meat shield. No mana stealing, no buff stealing. So this is arguably one of the best passives in the game. So the Lunar family is extremely good because of that passive, and Xiao Tu is the highest damage inflictor, or we can count her as a sniper. The best sniper in the entire game at average speed. She deals a whopping 655% damage to the target, and not only are you dealing that massive hit at the enemy, but you are blocking them from healing, and then they take damage from every attempted heal. So Xiao Tu, if you pair her with someone who gives E defense down for me stands for elemental defense down. If you guys don't know what I'm saying, elemental defense down. And I think Xiao Tu can just snipe that hero and then just disintegrate them, because 655% damage is a heck a lot of a damage. So Xiao Tu, one of the best picks in this Soul Exchange. I am just gonna say that. Next we have Cinnamon. This is the first time seeing the Mighty Pet family as well. So it is our first time seeing the Monster Island, the Lunar, the Mighty Pets, and so many other families in the Soul Exchange. So Cinnamon is an extremely unique hero, because not only is he dealing damage to all enemies at average speed, he is applying negative 54% defense against ice for a whopping 4 turns, and you get that frost damage as well. Cinnamon is an extremely good an E defense down, elemental defense down. I think the defense down is equivalent to someone like Perseus, who is running at fast speed, but he only hits 3. I think Cinnamon will have extremely good synergy with someone like Sobek, or Guardian Hippo, or Chang'e. So I think Cinnamon is an extremely good pick at the 15 souls. If you run by, or your attack team is a blue team, and you have someone like Chang'e, Sobek, Guardian Hippo, pair Cinnamon with someone like Tinsel or something, and then the enemy would get annihilated, because E defense down, elemental defense down, plus normal defense down, and a extremely good damage dealer is basically insta-kill. And pair her with Guardian Hippo, the damage from Guardian Hippo would just be instantly doubled. So I think Cinnamon is extremely good. I think she would have good synergy with some of those heroes who I just stated. So Cinnamon is a decent pick. Next we have Econite. Now Econite is the first round 2 of the ninja heroes. Now I love Econite's art, that belt thingy, the rope, and his class is a fighter class, one of the best along with the role class heroes. And one thing I do like about the what's it called? Set 2 or round 2 ninja heroes is they do not aim for 1, aim for 3, and aim all. If you don't know what that means, let's take a look at his special skill. 200 damage to all enemies at the first charge. Compare him to someone like Cobalt, who at the first charge just deals damage to one target, and then at his second charge he will deal more damage to 3 enemies, and at his final and third charge he'll deal all damage to all enemies, and the amount of damage would be increased. But Econite here, he already deals damage to all enemies at first charge, and then that is an 80% increase at second charge, and that is an 80% increase at third charge. And the Shinobi counterattack minion, the HP and the attack also increases. So Econite is an amazing hero. Remember, the higher the HP, the higher the counterattack, the more damage it could absorb, because it's reflecting that damage so that the minion can absorb more damage. But here, I will state a problem, a major problem with Econite. So here, if you do manage to pick Econite, remember we have Xiao 2, which most people, like about 30% of people, I think 30 to 50% of people will pick Xiao 2 if they're on a low budget and want to invest smartly. Most people would pick Xiao 2, and remember that OP passive disable minion abilities, he would disable Econite's counterattack minion abilities. And what people like about Econite is because of the minions and the damage they can absorb thanks to the counterattack. So that means the counterattack won't work, and Econite would just be like a downgrade to Econite, especially they're in the same list. I think this is just an extremely bonkers moment, because the minions are cancelled. Xiao 2 just gives a slap, and then the counterattack is gone. So be aware of that. If you want to pick Econite, be aware of people who is gonna pick Xiao 2. But Xiao 2 is not really a defensive hero. Econite is more of an attack hero, and most people won't put Xiao 2 in a defensive position. So I can see Econite being used in attack, but he would be less impactful in defenses as he usually is. So that is one downside I am stating. Let's move on to the 20 soul heroes. But before that, we will rank the 15 soul hero. At last place, no surprise, costume Dr. Maru, just no use anymore. Next, we have Dabria. Dabria would be an amazing hero if it doesn't starting low and increase, because you need to withstand 3 turns for it to go to maximum potential, the peak. That's the word, the peak or maximum potential of the heal, making your heroes for the 3 turns more vulnerable. So Dabria is taking 4th place. Dr. Maru is taking 4th place. Dabria is taking 3rd place. And at 2nd place, we actually have a tie between Cinnamon and Econite. It just depends on your playing style. If you want to go all-rounder, choose Econite. Extremely good all-rounder. And Cinnamon, if you're more of an aggressive type of player who has heroes like Guardian Hippo, Changi, Sobek, Cinnamon is the right pick for you because of that elemental defense down. And at 1st place, no surprise, we have Xiao 2 because of the passive and that extremely devastating special skill. So At the 20 soul, we have Narcissa. Now, Narcissa is the second Bard hero we've seen, so that is an extremely good sign that the Bard family heroes are coming to the Soul Exchange more often, so that is an extremely good thing. Of course, the passive, extremely good, and the mana generation bonus from the Bard family makes Narcissa extremely useful when paired with legendary troops and like mana boosters, mana generation boosters. But Narcissa, especially running at fast speed, that is a decent amount of damage, maybe a bit too low, but the primary use of Narcissa, in my opinion, is a status ailment duration reset, because Narcissa is gonna pair extremely well with a team that deals damage over time. Now, Narcissa is gonna be extremely good when paired with someone, especially when at fast speed, like Zhi Jing, the Scorpion Lady, the Neo Opera Hero Daroga, the bleed damage, someone like Nogu, for example. So I think Narcissa has an extremely good synergy with damage over time heroes if you manage to time it right. So Narcissa is an amazing option, especially if you have someone like Zhi Jing, Daroga, Nogu. Narcissa is gonna be the correct choice for you. Next we have Anne. Now, do not let Anne fool you. One thing about Empires and Puzzles is they release heroes, good heroes, for people to spend money, and then a couple months later, those heroes that were considered good when they just came in, they are now outdated or having a counter to them. So Anne doesn't have a counter, but her damage at fast speed, that is an extremely good amount of damage, especially at fast speed, better than most, especially with that fighter class. But Anne is just Anne got dated too quickly, and unfortunately now Anne is just not as useful. But I will give Anne some recognition and say that I can see you taking Anne because you desperately need a yellow hitter, like Anne, Shaw, Erling Shen. These are the best yellow hitters in my opinion. But I can see some people taking Anne. Next we have two extremely good. I'm gonna just wrap these two together because they are extremely similar. We have two extremely similar heroes, Cupido and Bubbles. Now, Cupido, we'll start off with Cupido. The Cupid family, the solo heroes get plus 20% increase for any healing increase. And he gets that perk. Of course, the perk is not really impactful, but he resists special skill blocking, so he is an amazing counter against someone like second costume Lai Zhu. So Cupido is an amazing mana controller that a decent amount of damage at average speed. 3 turns mindless heal recovers 20% health for the character on the lowest with the lowest HP on the opposing side. So Cupido is an amazing pick if you're struggling in Rush Wars or you need a mana control healer. A mana control and a healer. Cupido can be relied on as a secondary healer in my opinion. But Cupido, he is just an amazing mana controller, especially that you gain something if the enemy's mana, if they fire their special skill, you actually gain something instead of it just staying there like Alfrake's mindless attack. So that is what I like about Cupido. So next we have Bubbles, our second mighty pet family. So in this soul exchange, we have the first monster, the first lunar, the first mighty pet, the first I think there's already pirate, no, not the first pirate, the first Cupid, and the first musketeer. So there is a lot of new families that are being introduced into the soul exchange. I hope SG continues with this pattern, especially in Fated Summons and in future soul exchanges. So that is an extremely good sign. So let's talk about Bubbles. Now, Bubbles, Barbarian class, not the best. His passives are extremely good though. I love the Mighty Pets family bonus. Mighty Pets family passive. Now, Bubbles is another amazing mana controllers with that shifting mindless attack at fast speed. And it lasts 4 turns if it gets transferred, or when it is triggered, it shifts to the hit ally and the duration is refreshed. So Bubbles is an extremely good mana controller. I have seen situations where Bubbles has thrived, such as the whole team has full mana and you aim for the left wing, and then you just take up 5 bars of mana with one special skill. So Bubbles is an amazing mindless attack or mana controller, whatever you want to call it. So I can see Bubbles being used. Next we have the first musketeer, Athos. I think Athos is the worst musketeer. Now at very fast speed, he does destroy the minions, and then he deals a decent amount of damage. But why are you destroying the minions from only one target when you can get someone like Eloise, for example, from the last soul exchange with a lower cost, I think an average speed, and then destroys from all enemies. But the attack does bypass defensive buffs. So I don't really see anyone picking Athos. I think some people is gonna take Athos, but I don't really see a reason why you would take Athos. Maybe for the family bonus or something, and the cover passive, but that's just a dumb reason to take a musketeer. I think if a musketeer you would want would be Queen Anne. The best musketeer I think is Aramis, Roquefort, Cardinal Richelieu. These musketeers are way better. So to rank these heroes, I think last place goes to Athos. We actually have a tie for first place. Fourth place goes to Narcissa. First place goes to Athos. Fourth goes to Athos. Narcissa takes Anne takes third place. Narcissa takes second place, and we have a tie for first place between Cupido and Bubbles. Now remember, it depends on your playstyle and your roster. Depends on how much accession materials you have. So with that out of the way, my pick for this soul exchange is Cupido. So the reason I picked Cupido is because one thing to keep in mind, I don't have any rings, and I really want to go with Bubbles, but I really need Cupido as a secondary healer. So I really want Narcissa, Anne, and Bubbles was extremely tempting, especially Bubbles. and especially we have Xiao Chu at the 15 souls as well. But I think I have made my final decision, and that decision is Cupido. So without further ado, I will salute to Bubbles. I'm not sure if I want to do this. I am extremely stuck between these two heroes. By the way, please comment if you have any suggestions or ideas, and also comment down below who you chose for this soul exchange and why you chose them. I would really like to know. So without further ado, let's exchange for Cupido. So here is all my heroes. We have this and confirm. There's them going in. There he is. He is so glorious. Bubbles and Xiao Chu was extremely tempting though, but Cupido, he is an absolute beast, and I am excited to level him up. So please leave your opinions down below of who you'd pick in this soul exchange. And there he is. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions, and see you next time.